get stream information on this. Fantasy, novella, outline, character, plot, development. Writing and reading, outlining, brainstorming, adventure, character development, done, back on OBS, start streaming. Oh, no. That's fine. Start all that. Alright. Alright. Twitch and Kick. I'm on YouTube as well. So to wrap up the outlining process so I can start writing this on the 1st. Because the objective is the draft will be done in January. I'm gonna put a kettle on real quick, but let's see. No, development. That's what I'll call it. Development for Garrett. Right back. Alright, so Garrett's development is happy to be home. Including any space there. Happy to be home. Basically, Garrett is in a place where he feels like it's game over, like he won. Happy to be home. Content. Desires simple happiness or simp happiness. So he's got what he wants. Mid part of his journey, forced to act due to others' actions and Arista's desires / conflicts. Through restraint and kindness ascends to the throne. Arrested the Mermaid. Development. Where he must act. Development. Starts out proud, boastful, and demanding. See, in her development is she learns restraint. Watches other characters grow. After learning patience and kindness to others. Yeah. King Gregarious. Oh, it's good. Twitch on that. Down all the way. All right. King Gregarious. Development. The all-powerful king who is weary of his status. Falls ill and laments his dreams of never becoming a bard like he wanted to in his youth. After a serious gamble, leaves the crown to the heir he wanted to, and retires to travel with his wife, Queen Gwendolyn. Development. Queen and mother to grown children. Welcomes Arista and attempts to counsel her to be less contentious. Passes on the kingdom with faith that Arista's willfulness will be metered by Garrett's kindness and patience. Garth. Development. Entitled and privileged. Realizes slowly how his own toxic behavior has infected his children. How did I privileged, yes. E's, both E's, neither one's A's. What the fuck was I thinking? Entitled and privileged, realizes slowly how his own toxic behavior has infected his children. Enters exile willingly, grateful he can keep his family together. Galen, Prince Galen. Development. Masked and aloof. words carry weight and influence. And solid relationship / marriage. Princess Jocelyn. Development. Limerence. Really? Limerence. Again, no A's. Limerence and desire for she feels entitled to or owed. Punished. Hey, what's up? Yeah. I want to make sure everybody has like proper development. So I'm adding a little tag for each of the character descriptions so I know like what's happening on their journey. Limerence and desire for what she feels entitled to. Punished for her, say, ambition. It's good. Have you looked into character archetypes at all? Like the Greek mythology perspective? That's something I was trained to do in college. I'm not doing it this time around. I'm a little tempted to bust out the book, but then, yeah. Yeah, the 45 master characters. And then the writer's guide to characterization. Yeah, mythic models for creating original characters. Which, if they're mythic models, it proves they're really not all that original. But yeah, Athena, Artemis, Zeus, Demeter, Hestia, Apollo. Oh yeah? Have you studied Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey? That's kind of like the go-to Bible for how to plot things out. Because what I've noticed is I can write without trying to write the hero's journey, and I still end up writing the hero's journey, if it actually makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, procrastinating is an issue that can keep you from getting anything done. Limerence and desire for what she feels entitled to are owed, punished for her ambition, and then realizes love for what she already has. So really, like, Jocelyn ends up having an inverted journey to Garrett. That's interesting. Ed? Education to Go. Oh, Education to Go classes. Okay, yeah. And ChatGPT is pretty awesome for just letting you know where you can fine-tune stuff. Gregarious the Second, Garth's son, second, conniving, selfish, shifty. What is his journey? Incredibly, hey, I didn't spell that right. Entitled, privileged, scheming. Yeah, definitely not right. Scheming, no, scheming, scheming, shifting blame, and yeah, I can definitely, when I'm using it, I try to set it up as a teaching method. I've had issues with other books where it'll try writing sections for me, and you gotta tell it explicitly, don't do this, just tell me where I can fix things and how I can fix things and what I should look for. So tell it you need it to teach you, not to do the work for you. That's what I'd recommend. Incredibly entitled, privileged, scheming, sneaking about, shifting blame. And he ends exposed, attempting to flee, and being exiled. Like my last lesson with ChatGPT with doing this was having it explain to me how each of my chapters should be closing a door and locking it so the characters can't go back through it. So it's forcing the story to move forward. And that's been a pretty useful approach to how to deal with this. Belaine. Again, same issue. Development. Entitled. It's an issue with Garth and his kids. Belittling. Hey, that is a word. Development. Let's see. She's entitled. She's belittling. She's a gossip. What's her middle journey? Like, I think I know how I want her final scene to go. I want her exit from the story like this particular way, where she kind of gets put in her place. Her expectations of the world around her shatter, leaves in exile. Hey, what's up, Nevermore? And loses her only non-familial connection. Garth's wife, Giselle. It's gone okay. I'm still in the early phases of this one. I gotta get serious. I should be working on cover art for the last one that I finished and trying to get that out and published. I was thinking I was going to use a little time at the end of the stream to do some research into, I think it's called Kindle Unlimited. The last time I published a book, it was on Kindle Direct Publishing. I don't know if they've changed formats or something since. So, yeah, that'll be my second half, is taking down notes, figuring out what I got to do over the next month to get my first book out and published. Yeah, I'm doing it for financial reasons. The job market sucks right now. I've been trying all year to find a job. I had one for about 6 weeks that I got let go of. And so yeah, I saw a blurb. Yeah, I saw a blurb saying like romantasy is the hottest selling genre. What I focus on is the humanities. I try to focus on allegory, on character development, on something that someday is going to be like with the masters, like my magnus opus. No, magnum opus. What I want to do is something that will exist between the works of John Milton and Dante Alighieri. Like, I want to be writing books about heaven and hell and spiritual forces and how to become the best version of ourselves and all that fun stuff. Yeah, but for the sake of profit and practice, I'm writing romantasies right now. So this is so much simpler, especially with, ChatGPT being out as like a free editor, because editing a book can cost you thousands of dollars. So this is fun, and I have it taking place in the same world that I want to write in. So I can make references to other characters. I can borrow characters from other stories and plots that I want to do in the future. So yeah, this is much lighter. It's much easier. I can format my stuff in a much simpler way like I'm doing right now, and give myself a realistic timeline to get things done. Like my last book that I finished, that I still need to get out published, the first one to this series, is a little over 40,000 words, and I have 2 characters. They're in one location the whole time. Super easy to write. Whereas a lot of my other works seem to require like 200,000 words in order to be finished and require a lot of world building. So very simple. This I've got planned to be about 52,000 words when I'm done. That's the plan. That's the pocket I'm trying to get in. 17 main chapters, 1 introductory chapter, like the final scene of a Marvel movie to sell the next book, and then yeah. But I've got 20 characters in this book, so this is where I'm increasing the challenge for myself. This is where it's a little bit more. So right now I'm trying to make sure all my characters have plot lines that work for them, that they're actually like growing, they're moving parts in the story, not just stationary objects for the protagonist to pass by. And yeah, that's awesome. What are you writing about? First wife Giselle. Let's see her development. I don't want to say entitled again because that's Garth's whole family. Awesome. That's awesome. Do you illustrate it all? Like, are you looking to do comics? That could still be good. Just normally that's art. I kind of want to stay away from the comics. I feel like my art skills aren't quite where I want them to be. You're not into comics, but you like superheroes. That's awesome. Sweet. Well, forgive my ignorance. I haven't seen any like superhero fiction that wasn't in the comic book format, but that's cool. I mean, write what you love. Loves literature, particularly romance development. that and happy, confident in her life's direction, her journey, horrified by her husband and children's behavior, particularly when she sees them not getting their way. Sweet. Yeah. It's not only the difficulty of it, it's the lack of appreciation. Like, you can spend days working on a single panel that's all detailed and shows exactly like the environment that you want it to, and the protagonist, and like get all your angles figured out. But then as a reader, it just gets glanced over. Like, they read the boxes and they keep moving. Yeah, it's probably a lot better to collaborate if you have that availability. Sweet. Renegades by Marissa Mayer. Mayer. When she sees him not getting her way, ends in exile, takes a more commanding role of the family, less passive after their disappointing actions. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not only one of the most overlooked, but one of the absolute most necessary. Like, it doesn't matter what job you have. Thank you, book buyer. I got my tea. But I suppose I could use a little break for my eyes. But I walked the dog during my last gaming session, so. But yeah, it doesn't matter what job it is. Anything's doable. The most difficult part is always working with other people. So if you can figure that out, you can go far in life. Yeah, the 20-20-20 rule. What's that? 20 seconds to rub the eyes, 20 seconds to drink something, 20 seconds to stretch. Oh. Court Physician Pelibar Quince. That is a fun name. Development. That's good. That sounds like something Da Vinci would recommend in his notes. Development. He starts pompous and self-assured. Bafflement. Pompous and self-assured. He goes through bafflement and confusion. What am I trying to say? At part of his journey, he goes through bafflement and confusion. Blames others recklessly. Regardless of what it may cost them. I might make him a little bit villainous. Like at first, the physician character, I was gonna make him my autistic character, but I determined that's not him. I'm actually gonna make one of the princes, the neurodivergent one. Pompous and self-assured, bafflingly confused, and blames others recklessly of what it may cost him. He doesn't end exiled, but he ends like retired, like removed from his position. Realizes he still has much to learn. Mistress of Court Etiquette, Isolde Fairwind. Isolde Fairwind. Development. What's her story look like? Rigid. Feeling logy, huh? You got the afternoon devil? Is that what that is? Something heavy in your gut, now you gotta touch the itis. Rigid. And opinionated. That is not how you spell opinionated. Yeah, opinion. There we go. The whole IN missing. Oh, okay. So your gut's working overtime trying to get that stuff out. Rigid, opinionated. That's what I'm looking for. Rigid, opinionated. I suppose stubborn is how she starts. And then she moves to, again, there would be some bafflement on her behalf. Kind of stressed about how things are going. Seeing a definite mirror with her where she's got another male character in her life, just like Baleen, that is falling short of her expectations. Let's see. Say supportive of Pelavar's struggles and stresses. Despite his unraveling, leaves position as mistress of etiquette to continue taking care of him. Sir Aldrich, Royal Cupbearer. Probably have the least amount of movement for this character. See, superstitious, fastidious, anal, obsessive, precise, repressing anxiety and nervousness, easily startled, thin, takes tiny bites, eats very little despite job description. He says he must keep an appetite on him in case he is called to his royal duty. Legendary lightweight who gets drunker than the king in the process of testing his royal cup every time. His development. He's my least changing character. Oh yeah? Would it try to censor you on gastrointestinal stuff? Anal. Is that it? Yeah. It's silly. It's just silly. Moderator. It's associating it with being very literal. Really? Wow. He's drunker than the king in the process of testing his royal cup every time. Development. Wow, he does not. It's like the wine was off, and then I don't see him again until like chapter 7, chapter 8, I think. That is interesting. So, Lula, stop, chill, Lou, just chill. I live in a very dog-friendly apartment complex, and the one across the parking lot from me is another complex that's also incredibly dog-friendly. Like, they have their own dog park right by where my unit is. So I get to see all the dogs from the entire complex go back and forth across the parking lot, and my own girl just can't help making noise when she sees them. She grew up as a house dog. Exactly. Kind of limits my sunlight. Let's see. Starts suspicious and uncomfortable of new addition to the court. Arista. Something. Starts suspicious and uncomfortable of the new addition to the court. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, January 1st, I want to start working on chapter 1. So yeah, um, today, if I could finish it today, that would be fantastic. I've been saying I really should be focusing on the artwork for my first book to at least get the cover done for that. Because when it comes to selling this particular genre, like romantasy novellas, people buy the pictures more than the prose. So having a good artwork on the cover is going to sell more copies than having a good description of the book. Yep, yep. It's that first image that draws you in. I mean, luckily, Arista in her mermaid form she's got an interesting look to her. Yep, yep. And I'm having a hard time with the cover for the first book. Like, the line art for Arista looks decent. Garrett looks like shit. So I gotta, and I have them in an embrace. So I have to keep trying with him. Like, I'm doing a weird back kind of 3/4 angle, so you're not looking really at his face. She's kind of covering that. But yeah, I'm struggling just to draw Garrett, which he's probably one of the most challenging characters I've ever had to write for. Like, I've got another character that I like to use named Jost. He's my guy. He's my avatar, my go-to character. But he's the type of guy that will, like in another book that I'm working on, someone offends him, and so yeah, I can, but drawing is like exercising. If you don't keep doing it, your skill kind of wanes. But yeah, I'm primarily a visual artist. At least I'm supposed to be. Like, I got a bunch of old sketches up in front of me to remind me of the phases when I actually do draw. Mike. I mean, I used to be in game design and animation, and when I was in college, I was the guy who did all the artwork for like group projects and stuff. So, see how all that is. If that works. Yeah, kind of. So, just some simple black and white sketches. Yeah, kind of a comic book, anime style influence. I keep working on and refining. You know what? Let me show you my latest drawing. Concept sketches, doodles. Here's some of my first sketches of Arista and Garrett. Yeah, some of the concepts for him. Oh. Yeah, I went with fins for the ears. I'm really going for sort of a monster girl design when it came to Arista. Oh, yeah. That one. Ah. This is my main guy. This is my main protagonist that I like to use. Jost. Justinian Joserian Australis. He is not that visible right now. A little blurry, but yeah, High Elf, or I call him Nephilim, because I combine the Enochian myth and Celtic myth. Yeah, if I keep practicing, that is a potential stream of revenue. Yeah, I should do another drawing stream soonish. But for that, I end up using Krita, whereas for my own stuff, if I actually want to like finish something, I use Sketchbook. So the difference is Krita I can use on this monitor that I'm typing on right now, or if I use Sketchbook Pro, I use my tablet, so I can keep it in my lap and work directly on the screen. Lula, please stop. Let's see. Sir Aldrich starts suspicious, uncomfortable with new additions to the court. Gets lost in the plot. Yeah, right? She's just mumbling. New additions in the court. Arista, this poor guy would be going through so much anxiety. Like, so much anxiety. Like, it would just be a path of anxiety and self-blame. Because his whole job, the whole reason he exists, is so that nobody poisons the king. And yet the king ends up poisoned. So he's got to be in just the shits right now. Like, he's got to be feeling, like, awful. So his journey would be anxiety and self-blame. Desperate for a solution. Invested in finding answers, but at the same time kind of powerless. Maybe. But, I mean, really, no. Because, like, in most situations, you would think in a normal, like, king's court type of deal, like, oh, the king got poisoned and it was your job to prevent that. Well, off with his head. But gregarious is... Stop. He's gregarious. He's almost too kind. That's why people think they can treat him like a punk. Jumps onto any accusation in the hopes they are correct. That's a dark way to go. That's a really dark way to go. It's not a bad way to go, but it's. I don't think I see him as unaliving himself. Like, I'm not quite that dark as a writer, but I could see leaning that way just to create tension. That would be a very finite way to end his story, though. Like, that would be like, and then where does he end up development-wise? Dead, just dead. That's not a bad hook. That's not a bad hook at all. That could work into something, but that seems like that's a whole nother chapter. But that's got some potential there. Well, I will put that idea in my back pocket. Ends up depressed. Possibly suicidal. Well, that's not bad, except the poison that the king takes isn't a fast-acting, deadly poison. It's a weakening poison. So it would make him very sick. Oh. Yeah, so I mean, really, I could give him a pass in saying that, like, if he did ingest a little bit of the poison, he wouldn't be affected, but an old man like King Gregarious would be, because King Gregarious is ancient. Like, he should have given up the crown by now. Willingly, that's a good subline. Takes some of the poison, assuming it will kill him, and only makes him extremely ill. Arista inadvertently comforts him. Those are good questions. Like, how would he find it? That's something I would have to incorporate. How would he find it? Where would he get a hold of it? How would he find what the king has been eating to poison himself with? Like, that's where that subline would have to go in. Like, how would he get access to it? And how was the king being poisoned? Was it through his food? Was it through his wine? Was it through a vaporous cloud that was being, like, fanned into his place? Like, I haven't even, like, secured exactly what the delivery is. I know who done it. I've got my villain picked out. Through his clothing. That's a good way too. Rissa inadvertently comforts him, and he stays on. Yeah, it is. So yeah, I still gotta figure out what the delivery method is, how the poison got to the king. Lord Halbrecht. But then that mystery is something that's going to have to live in the story for a while. Like, how did it get to the king? Because that is what makes magic seem like the culprit, if they can't figure out the delivery method. So I got to be really clever with that. My intention, honestly, is to think about it before I go to bed and to tell my brain, tell my subconscious, like, I want an answer to this problem when I wake up. That's one of the most effective ways that I've found of getting your brain to come up with answers. Like, I used to do that all the time back when I was programming, because I used to do independent game design. And programming is so much of, like, you come up with a problem, you spend the whole day trying to figure out how the logic of it actually works, feeling like an idiot for not getting it done, and then go to sleep with it on your mind, wake up with the answer already, like, locked and loaded, pop it in, have it work right away, and as soon as you get that bit of code working that wasn't working the day before, you immediately come up with a whole new problem and you start the process all over again. And, like, every time I've explained that analogy to a professional programmer, they're like, that's exactly what my everyday is like. Like, I know, that's why I don't program. That's why I prefer character design. It's so much more fun and sexy. Lord Halbrecht, Chancellor, traditionalist, mistrusts Sarissa's disrespect and mystery right away, publicly leads suspicion against her, feels gregarious, is far too gregarious, old guard, afraid of change, the king's right hand, loyal but often rolls his eyes at the king's outlandish sense of humor. This is my stuff shirt. Development. What's his development like? Okay, who is Lord Halbrecht? He's the king's secretary, basically. Curari? Isn't that a spell in Final Fantasy games? Like third level healing magic or something? Okay, so like an herb. Or Halbrecht. Self-assured. I don't know, I think I am going to go for a potion that has a little bit more of a magical base to it. That way magic can be used as a cure. Because I have Arista as the one who gets most of the blame for most of it, but also the one who ends up healing the king at the end. So it's the witch who comes in, who is brought into trial, who made the potion herself, explains that it's a slow-acting, weakening potion. It's only deadly to the very elderly. So it's something that's supposed to look like natural causes. But it happens just a little too quickly. Self-assured. Ooh. Ooh. Looking forward to retirement. Yeah, something related to pufferfish poison or something that would act in a similar way to it, but the potion source itself is actually going to come from a swamp. So I'm looking for something that'll be made with like mosses and mushrooms and stuff like that. Eager to see the crown passed on. Saddened by the king's decline, but accepting of fate. So I gotta remember, I want this to be like a real whodunit. So like the whole time as people are reading it, they're like, oh, it's this guy. Oh wait, no, it's this guy. No, wait, it's gotta be this guy. There is a water hemlock. Alright, I'll try to keep hemlock stored away in the back of the brain too. Especially when I get down to the witch. Self-assured, looking forward to retirement, eager to see the crown passed on, saddened by the king's decline, but accepting a fate. I gotta be fucked up if I gave him a scene where he's just like, just let go. Just let go, my liege. Just let go. Oh, you're bossy. Ooh. Riz. Oh, buddy. I don't got any water, but I can put on more tea. I was going to grab Rizzy, but he decided to go to bed. This is his time to go to bed. Saddened by the king's decline, but accepting a fate. And then what happens to him? Like, for so many of these other court characters, I have a replacement in mind. Like, someone who steps up and ends up taking their place. But I don't have a replacement for this guy. But at the same time, he's the cupbearer, I want to have him stay on. I want him to have a bit of a redemption arc, is what I'm thinking. Like, he gets sick, he blames himself, and then Arista, not even intentionally, but just sort of casually offers him a little bit of kindness and forgiveness, which is important for her arc. Because with her, she's all about death and chaos. Like, Arista is the creature of the deep. Like, she's less Little Mermaid and closer to Cthulhu. Like, she's dark, menacing, and so she needs to have that subtle bit of redemption where she can show kindness. Yeah. Yes. In fact, in the first chapter of the first book, Garrett calls her a siren. In fact, she sings at one point in the second book, and it causes everyone who hears her to sing to kind of go a little bit nuts. Like, they either start falling asleep, or they get really, like, randy and aroused, or, yeah. And at another point, she sings another song because everyone is saying, well, she's a witch, she's done this, like, she's trying to upset the court. And she's like, oh, I could upset the court, let me show you. And starts singing a song that makes everyone feel like they're being crushed by the weight of the ocean itself. Yeah, In fact, Arista in her mermaid form, she's got the tail of a shark. Like, I'm not doing the pretty shimmery scales, and the horizontal fluke makes absolutely no sense. That's not a fish, that's a whale. That's a mammalian thing. She's got a vertical tail. Like, I actually based her design, her tail shape, and her fin, and her dorsal fin off of tiger sharks. So yeah, she's a shark. She's not just a fish. Yeah. Yep. Side to side serpentine motion. Yeah, I hate that up and down shit. And then her hair is described as, when she's in her mermaid form, it's like a sea anemone. Like, not that thick, they're thin tendrils, but they kind of have like a will of their own. So as she's kissing Garrett, even her hair is like grabbing his face and pulling him in. Yeah. Yep. She's got a bit of that Medusa thing. And then her hands. When I was a kid, I used to have nightmares about mermaids all the time. And that's where Arista really comes from. She comes from the nightmares I had when I was little. And I always imagined that their hands would be sort of like the skin of an octopus, where they can alter the shape and it appears kind of rough, but it's pliant. Webbed fingers and long claws that are hooked for like grabbing fish right out of the water. So, yeah, like, she's terrifying. She literally comes from my nightmares. Accepting fate. Yeah. Yep. And then the most horrifying part about her is her beautiful, seductive face. Yeah, in her mermaid form, I decided to give her sharp teeth as well. I don't know about that. I haven't really gone that deep. I haven't had her yank one out. But I suppose, considering that she can heal injuries and the like, I'm confident she would be able to. That's an interesting take. And then she has another form as well, where she goes full-on sea witch, and she takes on the aspects of an octopus. So the tail becomes tentacles, her hair becomes tentacles. She gets large fins that match her ears on her arms. Like, she's got her eyes changed to more of an octopus shape, so they're rounder, and they've got the horizontal pupils that are rimmed in gold. That is a question I had not considered. I suppose if she can alter her shape so much, she's already got like 3 forms where she goes from like octopus to shark-based to walking around on land looking like a normal human. Or at least what she imagines a normal human would look like. Yeah, I think so. I think she would be. Even in her human form, she'd probably be squishy like a cat. That would be creepy as hell to incorporate somewhere. That I could. Oh, God, that could be like. That's some nightmare fodder right there. Where she's just squeezing into a space that she's not supposed to be able to. That is some potential nightmare fodder. Again, you're giving me some good back pocket stuff. Like, that's. Because, like, I've got other romantic interests that keep flirting with Garrett in this story. Like, when he comes back to court, they're like, oh, the prince has returned. And so she has cause to be jealous, to, like, want to actually go after people. I appreciate that. Eager to see the crown passed on, saddened by the king's decline, but accepting of fate. Stays on to help Garrett adjust to the crown and his new role. But looking for his replacement. That's a nice juxtaposition. Like, he's looking to get out, but they keep dragging him back in. Like, I think by the end, if I could slip in something similar to, like, I'm too old for this shit. Yeah, and I like doing that. I like doing that quite a bit. I got a scene in the first book that it starts out scary, like it's meant to startle the reader, and ends on, like, a humorous note. Sister Kayleen, priestess of the teachings of Josirian, suspicious of strange magic, mistrusts Arista immediately, assumes she is a half or at least quarter elven, warns Garrett quietly. She's chaste, naive in ways of the world, but innocent for her age, Puritan, half-high elf. Yep, chapter 14, that's where I do that. A bit innocent for her age. Certainly one of those characters who thinks they have it all figured out. And say, journeyed with gregarious in his youth. Because she's half high elf, so she's ages much slower, so she can look young. But then, yeah. Again, confident, self-assured, realizes she doesn't know as much as she thought she did. That's an interesting point. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Unquestioned leader of the local order, religious authority, unquestioned leader of the local order, religious authority. So what I'm looking for, like she's a Puritan, she's big into the teachings of Josirian. And Josirian in this world is like he's the first high elf. He was a high sage back when he was alive. He wrote a lot of teachings that are popular in the world that are like, this is how you get good with the Creator. This is how you make the true God happy. Like, so what would you call that? Because I need that to break a little bit. That's kind of her journey, where she opens up a little bit to I suppose, a more secular viewpoint. Pious. I don't want to break her piety. I just want to crack it open a little bit. Again, she goes through chaos and accepting of new order, and it's like she vilifies Arista immediately. Perhaps one of the biggest proponents of vilifying Arista, because she assumes, like, this is slightly racist. She assumes that Arista is part dark elf, like maybe third generation dark elf descendant. Like, that's where she's wrong in her assessment. Makes wild accusations and cautions everyone about Arista. And they have to have a reconciliation at some point as well. And becomes an ally. / even maybe possibly a friend. Lord Pomeroy. Development. Again, this is another one of those characters that's kind of a villain, kind of a bad guy. Like, I even have him down as like a racist. He does not like other races. He doesn't care for the elves. He doesn't care for mermaids, for the half-orc. He doesn't care for the dwarf, captain of the guard. So one of those dudes where, like, bad things could happen to him, and that's okay. Development. Who is he at the beginning? Again, he's self-assured. He's someone who thinks like his position is just sort of a lock. Self-assured, entitled. I use that quite a bit. Confident in his role. Kind to other races. Non-humans. So he either learns and grows, or he doesn't learn and suffers for it. Those are the only two routes I can go with this guy. Lord Pomeroy. I mean, the name is a joke. Pomeroy means apple, so I want to make him red in the face, kind of round, maybe a little tart. Like, this dude is just a walking apple pun. I could have him removed and have someone throw in the line like one bad apple spoils the bunch. Becomes questioned and scrutinized. Begins to doubt self. Which, if I can get him to doubt self, then I can get him to doubt his beliefs. If he can doubt his beliefs and grow from it, then he can have redemption. Miri, the cat girl maid. Development starts out lacking, so it's a advocacy. Did I spell it right? Did I use the right word? Activism, support, sponsorship, promotion, encouragement. Maybe I want to say autonomy. Did I spell that right? No. Autonomy, not autonomy. Okay. Independence, self-government, sovereignty, self-rule, self-sufficiency. Yeah. Starts out lacking autonomy, confidence, self-worth. Yeah, I thought so. That's a hyphen. That's a hyphen. Self-worth. So she's a cat girl. In my world, cat people are typically kept as slaves. Hence all of her issues. And she's a maid, but in this kingdom they don't keep slaves, but she's still a servant. So she's still in that role. And so she has a hard time even accepting the notion that she is free, so she tends to allow herself to be mistreated. gains confidence in helping Garrett and Arista. Stands up for herself against blame in the final hour, and is promoted to the mistress of etiquette. Arista's new right hand. Senior Guard Corvin Hale. Half-orc, Garrett's childhood friend, honor-bound and honest, stoic, direct, respectful. Works hard to appear dignified and calm, strong emotionally, physically and mentally, tolerant of bigotry and used to being talked down to by dignitaries, fiercely loyal to the king and queen who have shown him such kindness, has a strong sense of justice metered by practiced patience. Blunt. Development. It's little expectation in life. Happy with simple comforts like Garrett is. Is a trusted ally, as well as someone who sees the need for change. Promoted to captain of the guard. Troll Swamp Witch, Yigra Direroot. Beautiful troll woman who lives in a swamp. Everyone expects her to be ugly, is brought in as a possible suspect by Gregarious II. She's mysterious and private but friendly, tends to avoid civilizations though, an eccentric experimenter, knowledgeable in poisons. She's lusty and sexually adventurous, wise but playful. Development. Made the poison. Use against the king. Unaware of what it was intended for. Honest during the interrogation. offers apologies for her parts, as well as advice for Arista, one witch to another, is brought on as the new court position and possible Coven member for Arista in Book 3. Development, unpublished Throng. Okay. Development. Dunrick Ironmantle. Thrilled his favorite prince has returned. Thank you, spell check. Fiercely searches for responsible party of poisoning. By Royal Garth's interferences, retires from duty to keep guarding King Gregarious in his typos in his own retirement. And that's everybody. The plot high concept. This is a story about love that demands power, power that masquerades as protection, and whether choosing restraint is braver than conquest. So restraint, I think I want to say kindness. A reluctant human prince falls in love with a powerful, domineering mermaid who believes she is destined to rule, and their romance pulls a fragile kingdom towards salvation or subjugation as love, magic, and inheritance collide. Goal of 17 chapters, 3,000 words each, plus one short hook chapter of 1,000 words for next book in series. aspects of Arista and Garrett's relationship to be a lot like The Taming of the Shrew, but in reverse. Let's see. Pop that into ChatGPT. See what that has to say on my latest batch of notes. Got it. What we've done here is excellent groundwork, but right now the arcs are uneven in shape and visibility. Some characters have clean trajectories, others have states rather than motions. Below is a clean aligned arc pass that does three things. Standardize arc language, start, pressure, choice, and end. So Garrett, arc shape, contentment, reluctant agency, chosen authority, starts, he wants peace, simplicity. Why does that name seem wrong? Wants peace, simplicity, and love. Pressure, Arista's ambition, court hostility, and the poisoned king. Choice, acts without rage, repeatedly when violence would be justified. Ends, accepts the crown because restraint proves stronger than conquest. Works well. Key chapters where arc visibly turns. Chapter 6, Public Defense. Chapter 14, Dual Restraint. Chapter 16, Acceptance of the Crown. No structural fixes needed. I think I'm going to copy and paste this into my own notes. Control V. Boom. Arista, arc shape. Arc is strong, do not soften. Important clarification. She does not become kinder, she becomes more precise. Dominion, observation, selective restraint. Certain she deserves rule. Human fragility. Garrett's refusal to dominate. Consequences of fear. Learns when not to act, not how to be gentle. Ends, queen by patience, not apology. She does not become kinder, she becomes more precise. Yeah, because I don't want Arista to change too much. That was something I put into ChatGPT. Like she's kind of ancient-ish. Shape. Steward, mirror, letting go. Minor risk. She can feel too static if she's always right. Give her one moment of doubt, even in private. It's good. It's very good. Secondary Royal Arcs Garth. Arc shape, dissociation, awareness, embodied choice. Starts floating, ornamental, pressure, words cause harm, choice faces conflict instead of retreating, ends, chooses love grounded in reality. Boom. This arc is quiet but effective. Make sure his rambling knowledge has consequences earlier so it doesn't feel sudden. C. Fantasy, consequence, and recognition starts entitled romantic projection, pressure, rejection plus curse plus comparison. Choice chooses being seen over being desired, ends genuine attachment, risk. Readers may resent her. That's fine. That's fine. The realization must cost her pride, not just comfort. Parasitism, panic, and dispossession. Feeding off authority, evidence closes in, attempts flight and blame, exiled, contained, but alive. Clean, functional, effective. And I can bring him back in another book if I want to. Like he could be in book 4. Belane. Control, fracture, and loss. Ooh, that's good. It's good. Control, fracture, loss, social enforcement. Power doesn't protect her. Choice doubles down instead of adapting. Ends, she loses her mate, her status, her audience. Important, she should never realize she's wrong, only that she's no longer obeyed. Okay. Comfort, disillusionment, authority. Starts with passive endurance. Pressure, she sees moral rot clearly. Choice, stops buffering others' behaviors. Ends as a matriarch in exile. Good arc, just ensure her choice moment is explicit, not implied. Pelavar Quince. Certainty, collapse, humility. Intellectual arrogance, reality contradicts theory, doubles down, harms others. Ends removed, still learning. Very strong thematic mirror to Arista. He lacks restraint, she gains it. Anxiety, self-sacrifice, survival. Starts fearful vigilance, pressure, guilt, and paranoia. Choice drinks poison. Ends lives, shaken stays. Dark but effective, make a risk discomfort unintentional that matters. Oh! So the witch confesses to the poison, which means he now has a sample of it. He can drink it directly to try and make himself sick. By making himself sick, Arista is able to actually have a guinea pig to experiment with healing the poison. Oh, and that's how she can unintentionally comfort him. Yes. It's coming along. It's coming along. I'm to the point where I'm using ChatGPT to help fine-tune some of the things that I didn't write so good. So help me with my notes, like arc transitions, arc shapes. I was calling it development, but it's the arc shape. So giving me like simplified little bylines so I understand how my characters are growing. But things are on track. I should start writing this on January 1st. And then the plan is to have the draft done before the month is up. Like if I do it like I did my last book, I should be doing about a chapter a day. Maybe a little bit less, sometimes more, but about a chapter a day. That's the goal. But getting some real nice notes. Boom. Arc shape for Sister Kayleen. Certainty, fear, reconciliation. So starts as a moral authority, pressures, she makes wrong accusations, choice, she admits her error, ends as an ally who's been humbled, important, her reconciliation must be earned and awkward, not clean. Lord Pomeroy. Dominion, scrutiny, adaptation. Starts power within system, pressure is the investigation, choice rethinks his own prejudices, ends with a broader worldview. He should be fun. Miri the cat maid. Arc shape, invisibility, agency to authority. Starts with servitude internalized. Her pressure is that she witnesses truth. Choice is she speaks when it costs her, and ends elevated and chosen. This is one of your best arcs, emotionally protected. Yeah, I tend to, I don't know, I spoil my cat girls in stories a little bit. It's just who I am. Now, I spoil my kitties in real life too, so that fits. Corvin Hale. Nice. Acceptance, responsibility, leadership, content with limits, pressure is moral clarity, choice, he steps up, ends, captain. Clean, classic, effective. This character, Corvin Hale, is inspired by Ford from the Mighty Nine. So I'm going to have to work real hard to make sure I'm not just writing Ford from the Mighty Nine. Yigra Diarut. Isolation, recognition, integration. Starts as peripheral danger, pressure is public scrutiny, choice, radical honesty, ends institutional witch. Excellent setup for book 3. And I could see Yigra having her own spin-off. She was actually originally created for a whole nother project that I had in mind. Dunrick Ironmantle. Duty, completion, guardianship. Starts as enforcer, pressure, political interference, choice, withdraws with purpose. Ends guard without title, works well. Big picture diagnostic. Who risks standing still? Queen Gwendolen at doubt. Hulbrecht at cost. Lord Pomeroy, give him a visible reversal. Isolde, give her one public choice. Who's doing the heavy thematic lifting? Arista versus Pelivar. Garrett versus Garth. Miri versus Belaine. Gregarious versus the crown itself. You've built a very rare ensemble where almost everyone moves. Yeah, that's what I've been working on. The remaining work is not invention, it's making the turns visible on the page. If you want next, I can map exact chapter numbers to each character's choice moment. That would be useful. Flag which arcs should cross or collide more directly. That would be good too. Or compress this into a one-page production-ready arc chart for drafting. You're very close to something structurally sharp here. Yeah, definitely sharpening the blade on this. I'm going to go with the first two options. Map exact chapter numbers for each character's choice moment and flag which arcs should cross or collide more directly. Boom. Excellent. That's exactly the right moment to do this. Below is precise production-ready map that does two things. Pins each major character's irreversible choice to an exact chapter. Flags where arcs should collide on page, not just thematically. I'll keep this tight, concrete, and usable while drafting. Part 1, exact choice moment map. Part 1, exact choice moment map, the moment after which the character cannot go back. Garrett. True choice, chooses restraint in public when violence would crown him early. Chapter 14, duel with Garth. Before, defensive, reactive, reluctant. Choice spares Garth after discovering the poison. After, court begins treating him as king in waiting. Because of this chapter, it is impossible for Garrett to remain a private man. Which that's all he wanted, was just to be a private man. He's totally the reluctant hero in this case. He's the leader because nobody else will step up to be the leader. He does not want this. But his wife does, therefore he must do it. So chapter 14 is a big pivot for both Garrett and Arista. allows someone else to lead the moment, witnessing Garrett's mercy before, believes domination is love, choice, does not intervene, does not kill, does not correct, after, begins choosing when to act, not whether. In this chapter, Arista can no longer rule by force alone. Yeah, 14, 15, 15, 16, Elaine 8, court outburst. Yeah, I don't know if I need this. But arc collision map. If a chapter does not force a close, reveal a collision, or close a door, it needs a sharper ending beat. If you want next, I can rewrite end of chapter beats for weak chapters. Color code arcs across chapters visually or flag when reader suspicion of Arista must spike again before fading. I was tempted about color coding arcs across chapters visually. That's something I thought of doing myself. I don't want it to rewrite end of chapter beats for me. Flag where reader suspicion of Arista must spike again before fading. Let's take a look at that. Control V. Let's write diagnostic lens for the story. Below is a chapter by chapter suspicion waveform for Arista where reader suspicion must spike, where it should linger ambiguously, and where it should fade, but never clear completely. Why suspicion starts immediately, demands marriage to a king, refuses to bow, weather responds to her emotional state, king's health declines after meeting her. Critical framing. She is right emotionally but wrong socially. Her confidence reads as entitlement, not villainy, yet avoid making her charmingly misunderstood. Let readers think she wants power and isn't hiding it. Rizzy, you're still up? What are you trying to dig? What's up, man? Oh, ow, my foot. My foot. Yeah, you're not up. Where are you at, my dude? I don't see you, Riz. You find a different spot to sleep tonight? Oh, there you are. There you are. There's my dude. Sorry for showing you all my butt. Alright. I don't think I'm going to add this to what I'm doing, but start a new chat and ask it, how do I publish on Kindle or KU? What do I need prepared for upload? I'm guessing art is going to be like the biggest thing. Okay, KDP, or choosing Kindle Unlimited is very doable, especially if you already have a manuscript in progress. I'll break this into where KU fits. So I've done Kindle Direct Publishing before. I have a book out on that. I don't think it's very good. Kindle Unlimited is very doable, especially if you already have a manuscript in progress. I'll break this into where KU fits, what you must prepare before upload, and the actual upload process with notes tailored to a fiction author like you. Kindle versus Kindle Unlimited, what's the difference? Great question. Kindle, KDP, your ebook is sold normally on Amazon. You can also sell it anywhere else, Apple Books, Kobo, your site, etc. Kindle Unlimited, readers pay a monthly subscription. You're paid per page read. But that's 0.004 to 0.005 per page. An exclusivity requirement. Your ebook cannot be sold or distributed digitally anywhere else. Print, okay, digitally anywhere else, but print and audio books are allowed elsewhere. You enroll in KU after uploading the ebook. It's optional and can be turned off later, 90-day terms. Okay, so I would have to do it on KDP, but then I could also sell it anywhere else I wanted to, Apple Books, Kobo, or my own site. That's interesting. So I'm still doing KDP, which I've done before. That's good. It's been a long time, but I've done it before. What you need prepared before uploading: manuscript file, most important. Accepted formats, best, okay. DOCX, Word, best and simplest. Okay. EPUB, KPF, PDF, not recommended for ebooks. Manuscript basics, one file, no headers or footers. Page breaks between chapters, not extra line returns. Normal paragraph style, no tabs for indents. Some breaks marked clearly. Front matter, title page, copyright page, optional dedication, epigraph. Back matter, also by or next book preview. That's for KU. Mailing list sign up link, about the author. KU pays by pages read, so clean formatting matters. Cover required. Ebook cover specs, JPEG or TIFF, recommended size 2560 by 1600 pixels, ratio of 1.6 to 1. RGB color under 50 megabytes. Text that must be readable at thumbnail size. Title and author name. You can design it yourself. Canva works. Hire a designer. Replace it later if needed. So I should do that for my first book. I should take my first book down because I'm rewriting my first book into something I can actually be proud of. Book details, metadata. You'll need to write title and subtitle. Must match cover exactly. Series info, if applicable. Series name, volume number. Description, sales blurb. HTML allowed, basic formatting. Keywords, 7 slots. Think search terms, not single words. Example given: dark philosophical fantasy, not fantasy. Categories, pick 2. Amazon sometimes adds more later. Choose carefully, this affects visibility. ISBN, no for ebook. Ebooks do not need an ISBN. Amazon assigns an ASIN automatically. Print books do need ISBNs. KDP can provide free ones. Uploading step by step. Create account. Go to KDP, Amazon.com. Use your Amazon login. Enter tax info and bank info one time. I got to adjust my stuff. Create new ebook. Create Kindle ebook. You'll fill out book details, content, and pricing. Upload content. Upload the manuscript. Upload cover. Preview in Kindle Previewer. Check TOC. Check scene breaks. Check weird spacing. Fix issues. Re-upload unlimited times. I've done that a couple times with the last one. Enroll in Kindle Unlimited, which is optional. Checkbox during setup. 90-day exclusivity. Can renew or opt out later. Step 5. Pricing. Common fiction prices. $2.99 to $4.99. 70% royalty. 99 cents. 35% royalty. Often for promos. KU books can still be sold normally. Step 6. Publish. Click Publish. Goes live in 24 to 72 hours. Things people mess up so you don't. Tabs instead of paragraph styles. Too many blank lines between paragraphs. No back matter. Wasted KU revenue opportunity. Blurb written like a synopsis instead of a hook. Choosing ultra competitive categories only. Strategy advice based on your kind of writing. Given your philosophical, darker, character-driven work, KU can work very well if you encourage full reads. You include an excerpt of the next book. I end every book with a hook for the next one. Strong opening chapters matter more than polish at the end. Series standalones for KU income. Series are better than standalones for KU income. If you want, I can review your manuscript formatting, write or punch up your Amazon blurb, recommend categories, keywords for your genre, help you decide KU versus wide strategically. Just tell me where you are in the process. Hey, what's up, Drowning Devil? Done with first book. Need to make a few, like 5 minor tweaks and finish cover art. Still need blurbs and title pages. Only thing finished is manuscript. Have published to KDP before, but that was years ago, and am rewriting that particular book. Not that that has anything to do with this, but for now, Drowning the Lonely Isle. Is on the precipice of ready to go. I need to finish my stupid cover. It's actually a great place to be. You're well past the hard part at this stage. The goal isn't containment. Don't reopen the book emotionally or philosophically. Just package it cleanly and get it live. I'll give you a tight practical checklist tailored to Drowning the Lonely Isle. Then we can immediately tackle the blurb or title page next. 5 minor tweaks. Lock these down first. Before anything else, do one focus pass only for typos and grammar you already know about. Did that. Consistency, names, timelines, sensory details. That's what I gotta do. Scene breaks. Talking about an asterisk formatting. I might have to do that for one chapter. Opening paragraph polish. KU lives or dies here. Did that. Rule: if a change alters theme, meaning, or character arc, not a minor tweak, don't touch it. Yeah, no, not doing that. When done, export docx and call it drowning underscore the underscore lonely underscore isle underscore master dot docx. That file is now sacred. Title page and front matter. Simple and clean. You don't need anything fancy. Title page, page 1, Drowning the Lonely Isle, Jack Waltz, optional, subtitle formatting, or series name if this becomes one. Well, Drowning is the series name. Copyright page, page 2, copyright 2025, Jack Waltz, all rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced or distributed without permission, except for brief quotations and reviews. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and events are either the product of the author's imagination or used fictitiously. That's it. No ISBN needed for ebook. Back matter, important for KU, even if book 1 stands alone. Minimum viable back matter. After the final line of the story, mark down asterisks. Then about the author, short, human, not salesy, example tone, not final copy. Jack Waltz writes stories about isolation, love under pressure, and the quiet violence of survival. When not writing, he lives with his dog Lou and a suspiciously judgmental lizard named Rizzy. It's scary how much ChatGPT knows me over the years. That's optional recommended. More stories coming soon. Mailing list link. KU pays per page is read. This adds pages without hurting the story. Cover art, what actually matters. Since you're finishing it yourself, here's the only checklist that matters. Readable at thumbnail size. Title is dominant, not the art. Strong contrast. Dark book equals dark unreadable text. JPEG 2560 pixels by 1600 pixels minimum. You can upload a temporary cover and swap it later. Amazon doesn't care. Blurb. This is the last real creative hurdle. Your blurb should not explain the plot, reveal the ending, be poetic for its own sake. It should establish isolation, establish the relationship, establish the threat, end with a question or pressure point. We can write this together in one pass. If you want, I can draft 3 blurb styles. Literary, dark survival, KU optimized hook, KDP setup, what's changed since last time. Since you published before, the flow will feel familiar, but a few updates. HTML formatting in blurbs is cleaner now. Categories matter more than keywords. KU checkbox still locks exclusively for 90 days. Preview is stricter about spacing. Recommend pricing, KU friendly, $3.99 ebook. That's what I was planning on pricing the first one at. Enroll in KU. Reality check, important. You're not almost ready, you're ready minus packaging. Packaging is mechanical, it should not hurt. Next step, your choice. Pick one and we'll do it immediately. I will write a final pass blurb for Drowning the Lonely Isle. 2, you paste your opening page and I optimize it for KU retention. 3, you want a final KDP upload checklist you can literally tick off. Tell me which and we'll push this over the edge. All right. I think I'm good for now. Yeah, I've done some good work. I know what I need to move on to next. What I should be trying to get done. Yeah, there's a good place to stop and let this live in my mind. And it is after 6 o'clock where I'm at. All right. Yeah, so thank you, everybody who's joined me in this process, who's been a part of this stream. I appreciate you. But I'm good. I think I just hit my point of burnout. I'm almost at 2.5 hours on this one. I got some good outlining done. Yeah. So peace out, people. I'm going to make dinner. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make dinner. I don't know what yet. It's either going to be something very healthy or most likely frozen pizza. So I'll check y'all later. I am about to hop on and grind out some more Warframe, because I gotta let my brain rest from this, and there's no better way than just randomly killing a lot of very aggressive mobs. So, peace out. You're gonna catch me for Warframe later. Who knows, maybe I'll get together with Uzkar and Serb and do a little Fortnite. Try it on the PlayStation for once. Oh, and I gotta do some DC Universe. I haven't done my dailies in that yet today. So, yeah, I'm out. Later, peeps. Goodbye, YouTube. Not that anybody's watching me on YouTube, and really, if you are, like, I think there's better uses for YouTube than watching me do this stuff. But if you are watching me on it, I appreciate you anyways.